It's great to have Sean Miller with us, the head coach of the Xavier Musketeers. How much fun was it to come into New York City and look around at this building today and maybe come to that realization, yeah, we're going to be here in March trying to win a title?
Yeah, I mean, John, I think for me, there's two stories. Number one, I played in the Big East long time ago at Pitt, and although Pitt's no longer in the Big East, not too often do you get a chance to play in a conference and then coach in the same conference. The second part is to be back at Xavier, a place that I was at for 8 years and have a lot of great memories, some of the best times, not only in my life but really in my family's life. And it's a place that we loved, and to have the opportunity to come back, I'm very grateful and excited.
Coach, your situation, your school situation, so many different emotions and varying dynamics. Obviously, you have a team that, they fell short of some of their goals with postseason play, yet they were one of the dynamic of ending your season with a win. Mm-hmm. And then you have, new faces, but then you also return so much. And then you have the job of coming back to a place where you've had so much success and implementing a new coaching staff and everything. With all of these different worlds going on, what was probably the biggest thing that you were fixated on and focused in the offseason?
I think number one, getting everybody settled, team, staff, so that we could have a new beginning. The one thing that's so different now about college sports, and in particular basketball, is just the change from one season to the next. In some ways, the better you do, the more change that occurs. Yeah. So especially when a change of coach happens, to be able to keep our roster intact, to have guys like Colby Jones, Jack Nungy, Zach Fremantle, Adam Kunkel return was a really powerful thing for us. So I think just to be able to settle everything, to get our roster back, I think it's a group of guys that accomplished a lot by winning the NIT last year in March. I think it was a much-needed boost of confidence for everybody, mm-hmm. and in some ways maybe set the tone for a great summer and fall where we're at right now. But we really do have a great group, a lot of returning guys, and I think a hungry group because, look, we haven't been to the NCAA tournament in 4 years. And if you think that's part of it, the second part is we're also a program that went 16 of the previous 18 NCAA tournaments. So I don't think anybody has to remind our group what we're trying to accomplish, and I think everyone's hungry to do so.
You just recapped it in a perfect way in terms of the history, coming off a team that's in win-now mode, an experienced veteran team. I'm interested in your impressions of Colby Jones since you've had him. He's certainly one of the most athletic players, one of the top players in the league, has a chance to play on the next level. What kind of leadership are you seeing from him?
Colby Jones is a terrific player and an unreal kid. The way I describe him is he's good at everything. He really is. I mean, he's one of the Big East's best rebounders, yet he's a wing player. I think he's maybe our best overall defensive player. From his ability to play the team game, to pass, to be where he's supposed to be, to make others better. You think you're talking about a point guard, but he's really not. He's a wing player, but yet he does that. The one part of his game that hasn't shown up yet, and I'm really hopeful that it will show up this year, is his three-point shooting. He's more than capable. I think that if he adds that to the things that he already does well, the sky is the limit for him, but also he empowers our team. He takes our team to another level. But his consistency, his leadership, who he is every day, there's not a better player / leader, high character guy anywhere in the country than Colby Jones.
Coach, from a roster standpoint, obviously, down the line with your squad is well documented today, and it speaks for itself. But I want to fast forward now, maybe January, February, when these talking heads are sitting together and they're talking about the Xavier basketball brand, especially when conference play rolls around. What are the key words and terms maybe you want used to describe how your team's playing by conference play?
Well, I think in the Big East, number one, you have to have toughness. It just is. It's been that way since the early 80s, and it's not stopped. There's just a toughness quotient that to be successful in conference play on the road, your team has to have. With us, it's going to come down to this. How good are we on defense? Are we an improved overall group from a year ago? 2 years ago, like, are we a better overall defensive team? The answer to that question has to be yes. I think when you look at our roster, veteran leadership, quality of play, we have a lot of players that I think can give you a lot of answers offensively, but those same guys have to defend as well. And I think part of what I hope you can see is that we're a balanced group. We're a team that's much improved on the defensive end. You know, the trading of baskets I don't think is going to be successful in this conference. There's too many good teams. There's too many good coaches. It's too difficult to win in a 20-game schedule. You have to be able to get stops. You have to be able to win on that night when the ball doesn't go in the basket. That doesn't mean we're not trying to score and be really good on offense, but you have to have a balance, and on our end, we have to be an overall improved defensive team program. And I think that's really what we're hard at right now.
Sean, you go around Cincinnati, Ohio this time of year, there's a fall crisp in the air.
Yeah.
There's that feeling of anticipation. There's that vibe of
love fall
of the
crisp.
crosstown shootout of Xavier Cincinnati to come in December. You got games before that, I know. But you can't tell me that you haven't given one thought of that feeling of basketball season tipping off and you walking through that tunnel of the Cintas Center again for a new chapter in your life.
No, I'm super, super excited. I really am. Cintas Center, I don't think it's enough credit, John, for the type of home court atmosphere that we have. You know, I read a stat, and just think about this. It's been in existence for, I believe, 22 seasons, and it's really been at about 98% capacity for 22 seasons. Now, that's different coaches,
Incredible.
That's different conferences. You know, there are not a lot of people that can say what I just said. So we owe it to that fan base, that student section, and just how it feels in the Cintas Center to come out of the gates and be a ready team. But am I excited? I'm beyond excited, for sure, yeah.
For now,
no different than if I watch a Steeler-Browns game and just generally speaking, kind of take inventory of what's happened over the last couple of decades.
What a
you know?
job.
Whoa, wait,
During
Coach
that 22
there.
years, I think
That
you've
was
won twice.
phenomenal.
I'm sorry,
I know
who
you
won the last meeting?
I know.
We're going to break down the past decades of the Steelers-Browns rivalry to close out the show. Sean Miller, thank you for your time. Enjoy some more $1 Million Bacon.
You're welcome.